A declaration of financial independence. Do you want to create wealth, eliminate debt, and achieve financial independence? We are going to challenge traditional notions about money and provide a roadmap for viewers to build wealth and retire early. On this episode, we are going to cover the following topics: the role of money in improving quality of life, the limitations of conventional financial advice, the impact of property ownership, strategies for saving and making money, and the importance of eliminating debt before focusing on wealth growth. Lesson number 1. You're more likely to make sound decisions if you follow the math rather than your passions. John's decision to pursue a degree in computer engineering instead of creative writing was influenced by a pragmatic consideration of the financial implications. In 2000, he had a short list of 3 possible majors: creative writing, accounting, and computer engineering. While his heart told him to pursue writing, he analyzed the potential earnings associated with each field. The cost of a 4-year program in Canada was around $40,000. John evaluated the potential income associated with each degree. Professional writers' earnings varied widely, but the average income was $17,000. On the other hand, an accounting degree was worth around $24,000 more than the minimum wage, and a computer engineering degree could yield $40,000 more every year. Despite her passion for writing, John chose to pursue computer engineering because it provided a solid financial foundation. This decision allowed him the financial stability to eventually pursue his true dream of becoming a professional writer. The importance of financial security is emphasized, as passions may change over time, and pursuing one's dreams becomes more feasible when a strong financial base is established. In the following sections of this episode, John's journey to financial independence and early retirement will be explored, demonstrating how strategic decisions and financial discipline played a crucial role in his success. Lesson number 2. John's Chinese heritage taught him that debt is a trap to be avoided at all costs. The Chinese cultural aversion to debt has historical roots, influenced by factors such as corruption, lack of official credit channels, and a preference for saving up to make purchases outright. This cultural mindset discourages taking on personal debts, viewing them not just as IOUs but as a form of I own you. Analyzing the financial impact, the Rule of 72, formulated by Luca Pacioli, provides insights into how investments and debts grow over time. To calculate the number of years required for an investment to double, divide 72 by the return rate. For instance, if a $1,000 investment generates a 6% return, it would take 12 years to compound into $2,000. This compounding effect is advantageous for investors. However, when it comes to debts, the Rule of 72 works against the debtor. Taking the example of a $1,000 TV purchased on credit with a 20% interest rate, the debt would double in approximately 3.6 years and nearly quadruple in 7 years. Understanding the impact of the Rule of 72, especially on debts, reinforces the wisdom of Chinese customs like paying off personal debts during the new year to avoid misfortune. In the subsequent sections, the book will delve into strategies for eliminating personal debts. Lesson number 3. Consumer debt is a financial crisis which needs to be addressed immediately. Debt is likened to a blood-sucking vampire that drains financial resources, creating a cycle of work and repayment. To achieve financial independence, it is crucial to eliminate consumer debt, starting with high-interest debts. Here are the steps to tackle and eliminate debt. 1. Cut expenses. Drastically reduce expenses to the bare minimum. The Rule of 72 emphasizes the rapid growth of debts, especially with high interest rates. Saving or investing is ineffective while dealing with substantial consumer debt. Consider additional income sources, such as a side hustle or renting out a spare room. 2. Prioritize repayment. Arrange debts in order based on interest rates, from highest to lowest. Focus on paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first, while making minimum payments on other debts to avoid default. Prioritizing based on interest rates helps to minimize overall interest payments. 3. Refinance loans. Explore refinancing options such as transferring balances between credit cards with 0% interest for a specific period, usually around a year. This allows for a grace period to pay off the loan without accruing interest. However, be cautious, as some credit card companies may raise interest rates if the debt is not fully paid during this period. Eliminating debt is emphasized as a crucial step toward financial independence. Referring to the analogy of running a marathon with a backpack full of bricks, the message is clear. Carrying debt will hinder progress and sap financial strength. To grow assets and achieve financial freedom, it is essential to eradicate consumer debt. Lesson number 4. If you want to buy happiness, spend your cash on experiences rather than stuff. The connection between cocaine and shopping lies in the way both trigger the release of dopamine, the pleasure chemical, in the brain's mesolimbic pathway. Both activities lead to a surge of dopamine, creating a neural high. The nucleus accumbens, responsible for processing dopamine, not only reacts to current stimuli, but also anticipates future ones. This expectation contributes to the pleasure experience. The issue arises when the brain continually raises its expectation levels, leading to the need for larger amounts of cocaine or more expensive purchases to chase the initial high. This phenomenon explains why individuals may find themselves in a cycle of needing more to achieve the same level of satisfaction. The lesson from this is that not all spending is equal when it comes to happiness. John observed a pattern among his blog readers. Those who owned more possessions tended to be less happy, while those who invested in experiences were generally happier. Possessions provide an initial burst of dopamine, but the pleasure diminishes over time. In contrast, experiences like learning new skills or traveling tend to offer longer-lasting satisfaction. The implication is that spending money on experiences rather than material possessions can contribute more to long-term happiness. This insight aligns with the idea that the pursuit of meaningful experiences can have a lasting and positive impact on one's well-being. Lesson number 5. Buying property isn't the fail-safe investment it's made out to be. The conventional wisdom that buying a house is a wise investment is challenged when you consider the hidden costs associated with property ownership. Let's break down the numbers. 1. The Smiths buy a house for $500,000, assuming a steady 6% annual increase in property prices. 2. After 9 years with 6% annual inflation, the property value would be $844,739, resulting in a profit of $344,739. 3. Hidden costs include title search, $1,000. Title recording, fee, $150. Lawyer fees, $1,000. Insurance, 0.5% of the house's value annually for 9 years, $22,500. Property tax, 1% of the house's value annually for 9 years, $45,000. Maintenance, 1% of the house's value annually for 9 years, $45,000. Realtor commission, 6% of the final sale price, $50,684. Land transfer tax, 1.2%, $10,137. Another lawyer fee, $1,000. 4. The total hidden costs amount to $175,571, which is 51% of the Smiths' assumed profit. 5. Additionally, interest payments over 9 years, assuming a 10% down payment and borrowing the rest, amount to $162,033, which is 98% of the sale price. 6. The assumed 6% annual increase in property value is well above the actual inflation rate of about 2%, suggesting that, in the real world, the Smiths might have lost money on their investment. This analysis highlights that the perceived profit from selling a house can be significantly eroded by various hidden costs, challenging the idea that homeownership is a straightforward and lucrative investment. Lesson number 6. Use the Rule of 150 to decide whether to buy a house or use your money for something else. The Rule of 150 is introduced as a tool to help individuals compare the true cost of owning a home with the potential savings from renting. Here's how it works. 1. Over the first 9 years of a standard 30-year mortgage, approximately 50% of the payments go toward the actual loan, while the other 50% covers interest. 2. Additional ownership costs, such as maintenance and insurance, are roughly equal to the interest on a standard mortgage during the initial 9 years. 3. To calculate the actual monthly cost of owning a home, you multiply the monthly mortgage payment by 150%. For example, if the monthly mortgage bill is $1,500, the Rule of 150 monthly cost would be $2,250. If this cost is higher than the rent, it might be more cost-effective to continue renting. If it's lower, buying could be a viable option. The Rule of 150 is presented as a practical way to assess the true affordability of homeownership by considering all associated costs. Lesson number 7. Index investing is less risky than betting on individual companies. There are 2 broad approaches to investing. The first approach involves detailed research, analysis, and the use of sophisticated algorithms to select specific companies or assets. This method is associated with Wall Street experts and can be more complex and costly. The second approach, which is presented as a simpler and less risky alternative, is index investing. In index investing, individuals bet on an entire index, such as the S&P 500 rather than individual companies. The index represents a list of companies ranked by market capitalization, and by investing in the index, one essentially invests in all the companies listed. This approach is likened to betting on the casino rather than specific horses in a race. Index investing is highlighted as a less risky option because it offers diversification. Since the index comprises multiple high-performing companies, the failure of one company won't lead to significant losses. The likelihood of all companies in an index simultaneously going bankrupt is highly improbable. The simplicity of index investing also contributes to cost-effectiveness. The associated fees for index funds are typically lower compared to actively managed funds, making it a more economical choice for investors. A typical index fund in the U.S. charges fees of just 0.04%, significantly lower than the fees associated with actively managed funds. Overall, index investing is presented as an intuitive and cost-effective way for individuals to participate in the stock market without the need for extensive financial expertise or high fees. This approach aligns with the strategy of wealthy individuals who are described as focusing on investments that generate more money. Lesson number 8. Early retirement doesn't depend on how much you make. It's all about how much you save. I would like to challenge the common belief that early retirement is only feasible for those with high incomes. Instead, the key to early retirement lies in the percentage of income that individuals save, rather than the absolute amount they earn. The normal retirement age of 65 is associated with the assumption that people typically save between 5 and 10% of their salaries and have investment portfolios yielding an average of 6 to 7% annually. By increasing the savings rate, individuals can significantly reduce the number of years they need to work before retiring. I think that the savings rate is a critical factor in determining the time to retirement. The savings rate is the percentage of one's income that is saved rather than spent. For example, if someone earns $40,000 a year and spends $30,000, their savings rate is 25%. Increasing the savings rate has a dual impact. It reduces living expenses, thereby lowering the target portfolio amount needed for retirement, and it contributes more money to the portfolio. It is a race where one is both moving the finish line closer and running faster. Even small changes in the savings rate can have a significant impact on the years of work required before retirement. Let's look at the case of a couple, Paul and Jillian, with a median family income of $62,175. By optimizing their living expenses, maintaining a frugal lifestyle, and increasing their savings rate, they could accumulate $1 million in 30 years, assuming a conservative interest rate of 6%. This example suggests that early retirement is achievable with strategic financial planning, regardless of income level. Lesson number 9. Reducing the size of your target portfolio makes early retirement more manageable. The key to early retirement lies in understanding the safe withdrawal rate. This rate is determined by the percentage of a portfolio that can be withdrawn annually while ensuring its sustainability throughout retirement. The research suggests that an annual withdrawal of 4% or less allows a portfolio to be self-sustaining. To calculate the target portfolio for retirement, individuals can multiply their annual living expenses by 25. For example, if someone needs $40,000 a year, their target portfolio would be $1 million. While this may seem like a significant amount, it's important to use alternative strategies for achieving financial independence with smaller portfolios. One such strategy is partial financial independence, which involves working part-time and earning a reduced income while covering living costs with savings. By calculating the annual shortfall in the budget and multiplying it by 25, individuals can determine a new target portfolio for semi-retirement. Another strategy is geographic arbitrage, where individuals earn income in a country with a strong currency and retire in a country with a weaker currency. By identifying locations with lower living costs, individuals can adjust their target portfolios accordingly. For instance, if someone can live a luxurious life in a country like Vietnam for $1,130 a month, they can multiply this amount by 25 to calculate a target portfolio of $339,000. These strategies provide flexibility and options for achieving financial independence. By questioning priorities and considering what is more important, accumulating expensive possessions or gaining freedom, individuals can make clearer decisions regarding their finances and pursue their path to financial independence. So, in summary, the key principle for achieving financial success is to follow the math. This involves making decisions based on a rational assessment of financial strategies rather than relying on feel-good advice or societal norms. You should prioritize subjects or careers that lead to a sustainable income rather than solely pursuing personal passions. Additionally, the math may reveal that investing in the stock market could be a more lucrative option than buying a house and incurring long-term debt. The ultimate goal is financial independence, which brings individuals closer to the possibility of early retirement. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Watch more videos by clicking on this video right over here.